Okay, welcome to the Come Talk Dance with the Culture. Our first guest for episode one will be none other than Miss Shanketta O'Neal. Hello, Shankita. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Perfect. I'm great. So, would you like to give us a little introduction of yourself?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Would you like to give a little introduction of yourself?
Oh God, I hate doing that. My name is Shanketta Newsom. Well, Shanketta O'Neal. Change that. Shanketta O'Neal. I was a former Prancing J-Sette at Jackson State University. Um, Former captain as well, 2009 to 2011. And since I graduated from Jackson State, I am now the current owner of I Dance. I have a studio here in Omaha, Nebraska, where I primarily teach a major style of dance. So, trying to bring the major style to the Midwest because there's no HBCU in the state of Nebraska. So, trying to bring that culture here. And that's pretty much me in a nutshell to sum it all up.
Okay, so how did you get started with majorette?
Um, so I started dancing in high school. It was pretty much off of a bet. So I was a basketball player. And daddy's dream. He wanted us to he didn't I was the oldest. I am the oldest of 10, and so he had like five girls in a row, no boys. So I played basketball, and my friend was like, "Hey, if you try out for the dance team, I'll try out for the basketball team." I'm like, "Okay, bet." And had like a week long camp. I didn't know how to do a split, a toe touch. I didn't know nothing. I knew how to street dance, but not like constructive dancing. And made the team and fell in love with it. Like, been dancing ever since. One of our counselors went to Jackson State, and so we used to go to high school day.
Okay.
And I remember my first high school day was my sophomore year, and went to Jackson State and saw the dancers. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be that." Like that right there. Like that's what I want to be, and that's what I want to do when I grow up. So that's what got me started. So in high school, we pretty much like most dance teams still today, and that was what 2004, 2005 when I first went to high school day, and all of the dance teams even now today in 2020 still mimic the J-set style.
Yeah.
So since I was sophomore in high school, I knew I wanted to like be a majorette and dance for Jackson State.
Okay. So was it hard transitioning from basketball to majorette?
Actually, it wasn't. Surprisingly, it wasn't. Like I feel like I didn't know it at the time, but I feel like dance is truly a gift for me because I never had any formal technical training. It's just everything that I know how to do is just watching and picking it up. Even on the dance line at Jackson State, it was so many girls that had done ballet and jazz and hip hop and tap all of their lives. And I'm like, okay, teach me how to do that. Show me how to do this turn. Like, so I definitely feel that it is a natural gift, and it was not a hard transition. I still played basketball in high school just to please my dad, but yeah,
You love that.
dance was it. If I had to choose between basketball practice and dance practice, it was always dance.
Okay. So what was their story as far as trying out? Like, was it difficult? Trying out for Jackson State? For J-Sets? Oh God, what happened? I can't hear you. Hold on.
Can you still hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I think I touched something. I'm gonna stop touching the screen. Sorry about that. My audition process. Okay, so 2007 was my freshman year at Jackson State. I missed the tryouts. My mother would not let me try out for the J-Sets. I had a full academic scholarship to Jackson State because I was valedictorian, and so I was in honors college. And rest in peace to our dean at the honors college, but she talked my mother out of allowing me to audition. She was like, no, they practice all times of night, 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning, and she can afford to lose her scholarship. I've had some G-sets that was on honors college and on a scholarship, and they've lost their scholarship because they couldn't keep up with their grades. So my mother was like, I can't pay for school, so you're not dancing. Like, so heartbroken. Like, my freshman year, I was at the freshman versus upperclassmen, like with my best friend JoJo. I'm like, this is supposed to be me out there. Like, I want to dance. Like, and went to a game. Like, so unfortunately, but fortunately for me, some of the upperclassmen got into some trouble, speculations, of course. And so they had an emergency tryout. So I'm walking down the yard, and this guy that was really close friends with my best friend JoJo was like, hey, like, they're having auditions tomorrow for J6. And I'm like, what? Like, it's only 2 auditions a year. What do you mean auditions? Like, it's September. They were on like their 4th game.
Yeah.
So they've already had 4 games. They were, I think the game before I came on was like Texas Southern or something like that. So they already had 4 games. Band camp, freshman versus upperclassmen already happened. And so I was like, auditions. I'm like, okay. So I prayed about it because I'm like, Lord, I try to be a good child. So I was like, I don't want to be obedient to my mom because she specifically is like, no, you're not dancing. You can't try out. But then this emergency tryout came, and I was like, Lord, now I feel like it's meant to be. Like you
Yeah.
opening this door just for me. Like, so I didn't even tell my mom. Like, I was nervous. I was scared. I wasn't prepared. So I remember going to what's the gym? What's the new gym at Jackson State campus? Walter Payton. So it
Yes.
was like this was the day of auditions. Like, I found out the day before. So the day of auditions, I'm at the Walter Payton trying to put together a routine. It was so many other girls in there, and I did get a little discouraged because like all of them had people there with them and like helping them make up a dance, and I didn't know anybody in there, and I'm just sitting in there looking lost. And Maurice Gibson, he ended up being one of my really best friends at Jackson State. He was like, I don't know you, but like you can really dance. Like, you got this, go do this. So I didn't tell my mom. I went and auditioned, and we auditioned in the band hall, and I made the team. I was surprised I made the team because I ended up freestyling because I had just tried to make them a dance like
Yeah.
right before I went in went in there. I advise, I advise people not to do that. But anyway, so Miss Worthy and the band staff obviously saw something in me, I guess. And I made the team. So I made the team in the middle of the season, which was difficult because the girls had already had band camp.
Yeah.
So they had already learned like the J says we have hundreds of stands. And if you follow the J says, you know the routines are not easy. So you have to have stand cuts, field cuts, running cuts. Like, I was like, what is this? What did I just get myself into? But that was my audition process. So I joined the team during an emergency tryout because in the middle of the season because of some things that went on. And I never stopped prancing ever since.
Okay. So, like, what was your response to when you was announced captain? Like, how did you feel?
How did I feel when I was announced captain?
Yes.
Oh Jesus. Nervous. I was okay, grateful one. I was definitely grateful, but nervous. I didn't feel like I was ready. I did not feel like I was ready. So for me, like being in the JSET culture, like very prestigious, everyone like we were like at one point the most watched dance team on YouTube. It was the most criticized, and like it was a big deal to be like JSET captain.
Yeah.
Like, that's something that you don't take lightly. So I'm like, excuse me, huh? Who? Me? I just got on the team. I literally like really had only one full season of like JSET experience because I came in the middle of the season my
Yeah.
freshman year. So my sophomore year, that was my first time because I didn't make stands my freshman year, but I did make field show twice. It was one home game, and then we went to the SWAC championship that year,
Yeah.
so I made field show for that. But My sophomore year was my first time ever marching in Memorial Stadium, doing Get Ready, doing a ramp, dancing in the stands, doing field shows. So to go from like first year, really technically like a freshman, to captain, yeah, your girl was nervous.
And
Your girl was nervous. I did not feel ready. I was just like, definitely was grateful, but I was just like, me? Like, me? You want me to be the captain of this Prancing J-Sette line? Which was basically what we call a rebuilding year because all of the upperclassmen were gone. So I had primarily all freshmen. It was um, 5 upperclassmen. Me, Ashley, Mia, Patty. It was 6 upperclassmen. The rest of them were all freshmen. So, in the upperclassmen, let me be specific, were sophomores.
yeah.
Like me and Coretta were the only juniors, and so it was. I had sophomores, 5 sophomores, and the rest freshmen. So, yeah.
So at the Capital City Classic 2008, did they tell you before that you was going to be leading for um, Happy Feelings, or was it like spur of the moment?
Can you repeat that?
So you remember Capital City Classic 2008? You got a chance to lead. Like, was
Yes.
it spur of the moment, or was it like they had already told you?
No, spare of the moment. Spare of the moment. Spare of the moment. And I was like, well, I mean, because normally, traditionally, unless it's something else, like how Miss Worthy used to do it, if you were called down to lead at the Capital City Classic, that was pretty much like her auditioning you to see how you would lead or look as captain.
Uh,
So I wasn't expecting to be. I mean, even though like I was chosen at the Capital City Classic game, I still didn't think like I would still be chosen as captain. I thought like, oh, maybe she just want to see like what I look like out in front. So I was like head gone, heart beating out of my chest, like yeah, because that's a big deal. Because everybody's like, oh, who she's gonna choose,
yeah.
and standing around like, oh, let's see how they're gonna do. But it was, I would never forget that moment. Like I would never forget that time. It was so, it just felt amazing. Like okay, let's
Yeah.
get out here and throw some stands. Hopefully these stands. That's the big thing in the stands. Like, oh my God, don't let me repeat something. Like, please, Lord, give me some stands to throw. But yeah, it was an amazing experience. My heart was definitely beating out of my chest. Like, Lord, please don't let me mess up, Jesus.
So when so how did the process go as far as choosing routines for songs? Like, were you given the songs a week in advance, or like how did that go?
Ooh, oh, it really varied. It really varied. If we wanted new songs, they ideally wanted it during band camp, and then of course the band is busy doing their own thing, and sometimes they forget about little old us. Like, hey, we need our music. Sometimes we'll get our music the week of or the week before. But I was very involved with the band directors and especially the drum majors, so they really looked out for us. Like I would, like I'm over at the band hall, like with a tape recorder, like, hey, I'm with the arranger. Like, look, we need our music. This is what we want. I want this part in. I want that part out. Um, so sometimes it would be a week in advance. That's why a lot of times I know that people like our fans, like, oh, they've danced to this song a million times. But we have to, I mean, it's not much we can do, until the band like learn and play our songs.
Yeah.
So we'll get like 2 new songs out of the year, but most of the time we're recycling old songs. Because it really just depends on the band and the arranger when it comes to our music. A lot of times, when I was captain, a lot of times I was making up dances the day before cuts, or yeah, that's basically how it went. Or the day of cuts, I'm at Walter Payton in the mirror, like, okay, yeah, let's put something together. And Miss Worthy, for some reason, was very particular because I was just like, I don't remember you being like this like last year or the year before. She was like, oh, we've done those arms. Oh no, you those arms were already in here. No, you booked like that. No, we've done that. Sorry, there's so many arms and books and rolls, ma'am. We can do. So she definitely pushed my creativity level. Like,
Okay, that's good.
hey, try this. Yeah. So we would have a lot of creative sessions, but in regards to music, we just had to get in where we fit in. I mean, that's pretty much. That's why you see us dancing to older songs
Yeah.
that the band has already have in their playbook most times. Sometimes we get some new songs in there, but it's not a lot.
So, how did your team respond to the routine swoop? Because it
How
was
did my team do it?
respond to swoop when you presented it to them, because I know it was super fast and a lot of stunts.
Yeah. So doing swoop was a whole process. Let me just say that much. So swoop is legendary,
Yeah.
right? So the legendary Afroshana Butler. So Swoop was legendary. Nobody ever attempted to touch Swoop, right?
No.
And so we was already told that we weren't gonna get a new song for Homecoming. So I'm like, okay. And I love Swoop. Like I love doing stands to Swoop. So I was just like, we were on the bus leaving from I think it was a Memphis game. It was one game we was leaving from, and I was like, Miss Worthy, I want to do Swoop. She said, oh no, ma'am, honey. She said, baby, ain't nobody touch Swoop. We leave Swoop where is it? I said, Miss Worthy, I really think I can do it. Like, let me dance a swoop. And then, of course, our band director at the time, he was just like, oh yeah, like yeah, swoop would be good. Swoop would be good for the field. I want swoop on the field. Miss Worthy was like, I don't know, Shanketta. She was just like, because if you don't do it right, mm, if you don't do it right, it ain't gonna go well. You know, especially with alumni. You know, like
Yes.
swoop was a staple.
And the fans too.
Yes, and you know the J-Sette fans. Oh my God, they
Yes.
eat us alive. Oh Jesus Christ! But I was just like confident, like I can do this. Like let me do a dance to swoop. I can do this. Um, and so came up with some 8 counts, and I was just like, Lord, this got to be most of the time. So just so you know, FYI, like people that are really close to me know, like it may sound weird, but I dreamed a lot of my dance routines. Like I would dream about 8 counts, like, oh, how you make this up? I
But
dreamed about it. I
that's why
just,
dance is a gift to you.
yeah,
Because most people are not, they're skilled at it, but like they have, their creativity is not there because they don't have the love.
yeah. I definitely love it. I could do it in my sleep, literally. Literally do it in my sleep. So when the team knew that we was doing swoop, they was like, oh, like they already know swoop is fast in regards to doing in the stand. So doing a routine, and then my team know how I am. Like I like to ride the beat. So every little dun 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 boom, like gotta have a dance move to it. We just can't 1, 2, 3, 4 like the beat. Like we gotta do every little thing to every little part. So they were just like, oh Lord. They would always say, like, if we had a song that had like a lot of dynamics in it, they used to be like, oh Lord, here we go. What Shankita gonna have us doing? Um, but yeah, they was on board. They was like, hey, let's do it. Normally I would make up something. I would run it by some of my old heads. Then after pretty much like after we would have cuts is when like I would get their feedback and input just to make sure like everybody looks good doing everything. Um, and we was on board. We was like, hey, let's do it.
Okay. So, like after a performance, would you guys watch video footage of the performance to like critique it or like,
Not as much as I would like. Miss Worthy would record us, so Miss Worthy would have her camera most times. So sometimes we would. I always encourage my girls to stay off of YouTube. Like
oh, yeah.
if Miss Worthy didn't record it, then we didn't watch. Um, because I was really big on like making sure that we all stay humble because our our fans sometimes they'll pump your head up or tear you down
Yes.
like for real tear you down.
Yes.
So I always like nope, no YouTube, stay off YouTube, stay off those comments. Like if Miss Worthy didn't record us, Then we pretty much just would go off her feedback of what we look like at that time, just to keep us encouraged and not to be authentic of what we feel like we needed to do as a team versus, all the critiques from our fans.
Okay. So since you've been off the team, have you went back and watched some of your performances? And like, what was your reaction to them?
Not really. Not really, unless somebody posts something. Like if somebody posts something and tag me, because I've been like, I didn't realize like I'm like for real old. Like I'm a for real old head now. Like I was first captain in 2009. It's 2020.
Yes.
Like that's a
It's been
decade. I'm
it's
like,
been
oh
10 years
Jesus.
since you've been gone.
I don't unless somebody tag me.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, oh, like dang, we used to be bugging.
Yes.
Or just field shows. I'm like, oh, we shouldn't do that. But when I do see old clips, I'm like, wow, like we really had energy, like we really was, especially having a young team. Like I had a really young team, so when I do see old clips, it really makes me proud because I was like, oh, my babies were getting it, like. My babies was getting it. People like, oh, you're so legendary. You were so great. I'm like, nah, my team behind me made us look good. Definitely.
Who was someone that you looked up to as while you were at JSAT? Who was your lookup person?
Actually a few. Um, Afroshana was so helpful. Afroshana was definitely helpful. She will always come back. She always gave me advice as a leader, and as from a captain perspective, not just dance. So she was very instrumental. Um, Shamika, she definitely took me under her wings my freshman year and taught me how to march and taught me how to like really book. Um, let's see who else. Janier, Janier came through. Janier is so creative. You gotta know Janier to love Janier. But she was super awesome. With her creativity and just always being a listening ear. Um, those are like the main ones, but like all of the old heads supported me like tremendously. Like I was super overwhelmed and like super grateful for like everybody's support. Like all the old heads supported, was there, texted, encouraging along the way.
Okay. Um, where do you guys formations as far as stands come from? Like, I remember your 2010 year.
Hmm.
You had two, then three, then two, then three. Like in the stand formation versus just the three rows. You had
Hmm.
multiple rows. Like, where did that ideal come from?
Just doing something. I
Trying
mean, just to
something.
be honest with you, just doing something. I was always asking Miss Word to do something. Just doing something. Like it's just doing something where we could do something new. I would try.
Like what ideals did you have that Miss Worthy wasn't going for?
Change and get ready. She was not going on that one. I was like, Miss Worthy, like, I don't want to like change it. Like, just let us do some, add a little, just like the girls now do, like the little turn kick and
Yeah,
get ready. I was like, I don't want to. Definitely, I want to change tradition, but I was like, but Miss Worthy, you look at over the years, like
it has changed over the
it
years.
has changed over the years. You guys added more A counts in over the years. Like, let me add something or change something. She was like, Shakita, you done already did a lot of changes, ma'am. She was like, the old heads. She was like, these alumni ain't gonna let me make it. So she would not budge on get ready. I tried, but she wouldn't let me be great. She would not let me be great.
So some of the fans have some questions for you, and the ones that we haven't talked about, I'm going to ask you those.
Okay.
One of them is, how does it feel to be called legendary?
Um, it's humbling. Um, I mean, a lot of times I like think back over my reign as captain. I was like, what made me so legendary? Because I know that legendary is very subjective. Like
Yeah.
everyone has their, qualities and outline of what they think a legend is. So I'm super grateful. I mean, because being captain is already a high title and prestigious honor. So to be labeled as a legendary captain, definitely grateful. I mean, that's the only thing I can say. Definitely grateful to be looked at in that light.
Well, yes, because like most people don't like Chloe's year, but I actually love Chloe's year, um, because she brought a lot of change as far as field shows claim. Like
Yes.
it was a lot of she brought a lot of elements, and you know sometimes it didn't come off good, or you know, but
Hmm.
but she brought a lot of change, and coming after her, like you brought the spunk back. It was a lot of in your face type deals. I know you remember Motion when you guys battled them. Like, like,
Yep.
like how did Miss Worthy feel about you just getting up and just going?
Oh, Miss Worthy was loving it, baby. Like Miss Worthy was all for it.
Okay, like, cause
My screen. I don't know if that was my screen. It's white. Did I do something?
it's fine now.
Can you still see me?
Yeah, before you did that.
Um. Okay. I'm just gonna keep talking. I don't know. Tell me if I got a good angle because my
Oh yeah.
screen is completely white, so I can't see myself or you.
Oh
Um.
Lord. But yeah, we'll work on that.
Okay. So I'm yeah. So I am I good in the camera
Yeah,
because I can
you're
see myself.
great. You're great.
Okay.
So the next question is, um, so you talked about this with your story about you not having experience and all that good stuff with dancing. One of our questions is, if someone can dance but don't have any dance experience with the team, would you say that they can have a chance to make it in a HBCU dance team?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about passion. If you got dance experience, of course like every dance line is different. Every dance line has its own little swag, but it's that team's responsibility to teach you that swag. But as long as you can dance and you have energy, because it's more to dance than just dance. Like I had one of my sisters audition for J-Sets, but she ended up getting a track scholarship and didn't return to try out again. But what a lot of dancers forget is that is more than just your dance move. For me, I did not feel, and I also know that I was not the best dancer on the team. But it's all about your passion. It's all about your energy. It's all about your spunk and your personality and your attitude. So you got to bring all of that to the audition process. Like they're watching you as soon as you walk through the door, how you're interacting with other people, how is your attitude? Are you speaking? Are you trying? So as long as you can dance, that's like the bare minimum. Everything else is teachable, but one thing that you can't teach people is, that spunk, that oomph. So, just learning who you are as a dancer and bringing your personality to the table, you'll be fine.
Okay, the next question is, describe your most challenging as well as your most triumph moment on the J sets.
Most challenging and most triumphant. Most challenging, um, definitely was a lot of juggling. So like I mentioned, I was on a full academic scholarship. So with all of the practices, sometimes we're practicing 6 days a week, especially if we have a Sunday like Battle of the Band or something like that. So time management, like managing time to do work, managing time to eat, managing time to work, managing time to outside of practice. Because when, as the captain, you're not really getting critiqued. You're doing all the critiquing, you're, making up the dance routine. So you have to find time to like go look at yourself and, calling one of the old heads and, like, hey, am I marching right? Am I doing this thing right? So taking time to develop yourself, continue to develop yourself. So you got to manage and juggle all that. You're managing 14 to 20 female attitudes and things that's going on in their life, as well as staying on top of them academically. Because for me, like academics was very important. So I'm checking like, did you go to class? What your grades looking like? What's going on? Then you got to manage the expectation of your sponsor. You got to manage the expectations of the band staff. You got to manage the expectations of the alumni because our alumni are they're very very vocal about the tradition and making sure that we look good and carry on the legacy. So that pressure, and then of course like fans. So like you're, as captain, you're like, and then your team, like you want the respect and the admiration of your team and your team members. So like making sure they're happy and making sure the sponsor is happy and making sure the band staff is happy and making sure the alumni is happy and making sure that the fans are, pleased. So that I would say like that was definitely a challenge. And then just learning everything. That was a big challenge too, especially my freshman year, not getting the opportunity to go through a band camp. Like that's where you have that dedicated time to really learn everything. So it was kind of like, hey, pick it up as you go when you can. Um, I would say my most triumphant was us like executing swoop. That was a big deal. That was like, hey, Swoop is untouchable. So when the alumni, like when we practiced on the field that night, homecoming, the tradition, like
Yes.
all the old heads come back to the field, and like we got like a big, huge round of applause at practice that Friday night when we did Swoop.
Yeah.
And so, like to know that we did the song justice and the alumni were pleased, hey, that was a moment for me.
Yes. So the next question is, how did you deal with everyone's criticism and negativity while being a captain?
I didn't let it bother me. That's why I told my girls like I have more tough skin than others. Like so it really didn't bother me. Like people will tell me what people say. I stayed out of the comments, but of course people that read the comments like, oh, did you know such and such and this person said this and this person said that and these group of people don't like you. I had a job to do, and that was to make sure my girls looked good the best way I knew I knew how. And I mean, it didn't matter because I knew that everybody's opinion is different. Everybody sees the world differently. They see dance differently. So I knew it was going to be some people that really loved me, some people that was like, oh, okay, she okay, and then some people who just was like, nah, I don't care for her. And I was fine with that. Like as long as the people that were closest to me, that I made them proud. Hey.
This is not a question, it's more so a statement. It says that your radiance and your excitement you brought back to the sets was undeniable.
Oh, thank
So
you.
that was very nice of them
That was
and
nice.
truthful.
Thank you so much.
Um, then that's another question. What was your favorite routine under your era?
My favorite routine under my era. Um, can I say two of them?
Yes.
I would say my two favorites. One was definitely outside of Swoop. Swoop was definitely one of my favorites because it just had that like dun 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 dun.
Yes.
But Nights by Nights was actually one of my other favorite routines.
Yes, I loved
I
it.
really love Nights by Nights.
That was very, especially when you revamped it for Southern Game,
Hmm.
which Charlotte jumping, I mean flipping, that was amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
I
was.
love Nights by Nights.
Yeah, my favorite was PYT.
That was my very first field routine. Oh, like because in the intro, that's the routine that you chose to use, and I was
Yes,
like, oh, I was over here just smiling. I was like, oh, that was my first field show, and I was like, wow, like definitely field shows have definitely evolved since then.
yes,
But like that was my first field show, and I was so nervous. I was like, what do I put in this dance?
but it was
What do we
everything
do?
though. It was.
But yeah, that routine was definitely fun.
Yeah,
That was like the most fun routine.
yeah. You had the opportunity to do a lot of like the fan favorite routines. You did jam, you did swoop, you did Cold Hearted Snake. Like you just, they just kept throwing them at you.
I know, and I was like, I don't remember doing as many routines my freshman and sophomore year. It seemed like I don't know if it was the way the schedule was, but I was like, we've done a lot of routines there. We like soup was the only routine we did. Jam, I only did jam once.
Yeah,
Like we only did jam one time, so it was like we was doing one routine and being done with it.
yeah.
Like
Because
we rarely repeated a routine unless we had like back to back away games or something, but that was rare. So every week I was having to create and we was doing cuts.
so, how did you feel like being able to see Jam redid Charlotte's year?
I was excited. I was like, yes, it's back. I was definitely excited because I really loved that routine. It was funky. Like it was like
Yeah,
another one of those routines where the music is dynamic and you get to like do something to every beat.
yeah.
So I was definitely excited. Definitely
Because
excited.
they
Like
don't make music like that anymore. Like all of the newer songs, it's like you don't get a chance to do all that dynamic things.
no, I don't like it. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't like the song choices
yeah,
primarily because it's no like, you need that drum breakdown.
yeah.
Like you need all that to give some.
And so the next question is, and do you still rap? And if so, can you spit something for us?
Oh God, you guys put me on the spot. I haven't been doing anything lately. I've been like focusing on being in love and being a mommy to be. But I definitely got to start back writing and rapping. Um, we'll probably say something later to the
Yeah,
end. I can't believe you guys want me to rap. We're dancing. Isn't this a dance show?
I
This is a
know.
dance show.
But you're multi-talented.
You said what?
You're multi-talented.
I mean, true. That's true. That's true. That's true.
So, what was um, your biggest competition during your season? Like your biggest game or your biggest competition during your season?
Southern was always big.
Yes.
Southern was always big. Um, just the hype, the energy um for fifth quarter. Like Southern was the game. Especially Southern my senior year.
I know.
It was I
It was.
will never forget that game. That energy was so crazy.
It
I
really
just
was.
loved it. So Southern and Texas Southern. The Texas Southern will always try to steal and do our eight counts. And I was like, hey, I would look at my girls like, hey, let's go. Let's get it. So Southern was like the big hype, but I always loved to play Texas Southern because it was like that. We know they're gonna do our eight counts, so like let's put on a show. It's time to go to war.
Yes. Yes, because that was Southern. Your senior year was the energy was crazy because
Very.
it was a lot of extra drama from when you guys played while they was going on the field. Like it was just so power was that song that everybody wanted to hear you guys play. Like how did you feel like? Because power was a dope song.
It was like the energy. I was just excited, like just excited, like the energy from my girls. Like I will always try to hype them up because I was like, hey, like I know that they feed off my energy. Like as a captain, like as a leader, your squad feeds off your energy. So I just was always ready. Just always ready, always ready, always hype. Like let's go. I'm like 5, 6, 7, 8. Like everybody.
So this question says, "Did you watch Miss Worthy videos? Can you steal them for us? It is the holy grail."
I've only seen two videos of Miss Worthy doing her time as captain, and there is really I think it's on YouTube. Really old footage, like you could really barely see it, but every now and then, now she would get up, she'll wear some practice clothes to practice, and she'll show us like, "Hey, this is how you prance. This is how you supposed to do this." I was like, "Okay, Miss Worthy, she still got it. Miss Worthy still had it. Let me tell you that Miss Worthy still had it." But no,
So
I don't have any secret videos of Miss Worthy. I wish I did, but I don't. But she was a firecracker.
Yes. So, define your definition of what a J set embodies.
Ooh, now that's a good question. Jessett. Okay, I was about to sing our little song. What a J set embodies. A J set is definitely a leader, whether she's um, in the front as captain or not, because everyone looks at the J sets and admire the J sets.
Yes.
So it's definitely important for a J set to be a leader and to be a role model, to be a woman of prestige, to be honorable, to be respectful, to have a really great attitude, to be dynamic on the dance floor and outside of the dance floor. Um, yeah, it's just so much poise and grace. Like, that's how, when I think about a J set, I think about a woman who of high esteem, who's smart, who's an amazing leader, who's an amazing dancer, um, and lead by example.
Oh,
Trailblazers, trendsetters.
yes. Um, when you were captain, did you seek help from old captains, or did you have a J set
Oh,
mentor?
absolutely. Absolutely. It was no shame in my game. I reached out and they reached out to me too, but I was not prideful. Of course, as a leader, you have to take ownership. Like, this is my team. Because every captain brings their own swag, their own flair to the team, their own morals and values, what's important to them. But I did not mind the help. I'm like, hey, they was like, you need, yep. Mm-hmm. Yep, you want to send some accounts? Sure. Let's go. How did you do this, March? Because everyone kind of does things a little differently. Of course, we have things that are traditional, but you know, everyone has their own little salt and pepper swag, or the way they do pool is
Yeah.
slightly different, got a little funk. So, whether it was a captain or dancers who were not captain that I thought were super dynamic,
Yes.
definitely reached out. Definitely reached out, and they were always receptive. And like, as an old head, that makes you feel good. Like, I must have did something when I was on the squad. And for the younger generation to reach out for you to help for help and assistance. So I definitely did that. There's no shame in my game. Like, yep, you want to help me? Come on, because I
because
don't know everything.
because we got a chance to see you return that favor back in 2015 when you reached out to Don that year.
Mm,
So it's great to see the relationships that you guys have as far as alumni and the current JSATs.
absolutely, it's definitely a sisterhood. Like, I
Yeah,
would tell people, it's like, oh, the J is just so amazing. Like, I would tell people, like, it is so important to have a sisterhood. Like, these are women that you are around more than your own blood family, especially during the season.
yeah,
Like, these are women that you're with like 7 days a week in most cases. So it's important for you to have a relationship. It's important for you to have a sisterhood and a bond, because if not, it shows in your performances. It shows, like, if you don't have that chemistry, you can tell.
yeah.
You can tell when you don't have that chemistry.
So we have another question. It says,
Yes.
were fast up tempo songs your favorite to dance to? Because you always buck them down.
Oh yes. Mm. Oh yeah. Fast and up tempo beats. Yep, that was my thing. I like slow, but I wasn't really that finesser. Like, I had my facial expressions, like, but fast songs, I'm like, hey, get it. Definitely my favorite.
Now you killed. Now you killed when you debuted the new counts to slow songs. It
Oh
was
yeah, now look,
yes. You finessed
yeah,
those.
you're right, but fast was my favorite.
Yes.
Like, slow, like, because of how we were taught to do slow stands. Like, it's different now. Like, definitely the slow stands for the JCS have definitely evolved.
Yes.
But my era of doing slow from the previous eras, it was more like, it wasn't prissy
Yeah.
slow counts. It was more like, like, in your face, find somebody and like eyes with them. So sometimes slow stands will make me uncomfortable. Cause you gotta be super sexy and so I had to work on my sexy. But I got there. I got there.
Yes, you did. Um, what what is your so how did car wash come about?
The uniform.
Yes.
They actually, I don't remember what year. I'm pretty sure our fans do. I hats out to our fans because our fans know and remember more stuff than we do, and we dance on the team. But at one year they actually danced to the song "Car Wash." It was like your theme, so that uniform went with the theme.
Ah. Because I
Yeah,
was like,
that uniform went with the theme for Car Wash.
yeah, because after that year, they started wearing it more and more and more, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, that's kind of like our go ahead and get it out the way uniform.
Yes. I mean, I love it on the field. It just when it comes to the stands, it's just,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
it's definitely not a. I think I forgot what year. I think that was maybe '09 where we
yeah,
wore it in the stands. Horrible idea.
yeah, it is very. Um, so I would think that was your least favorite uniform.
Definitely.
So what was your favorite uniform?
Tiger Girl.
Yes,
Hands down, Tiger Girl. Tiger Girl just made you look boom, boom, bow. Just made you look. You had all the hips, then the fringes on the side.
yes.
Tiger Girl was my definitely my favorite uniform.
One of the fans wants to know, is running a dance business hard?
Yes. Absolutely. Especially especially if you have the heart for it. If you just in it for the money, it's like, oh, okay, whatever. But it's definitely difficult because everyone doesn't have the same passion as you do. Especially trying to get staff and coaches, like especially when it's a dance business and not just a dance team. Like, you want to have people, even parents, like the parents, from the instructors to the parents. You have to have individuals that know the vision, see the vision, believe in the vision, and what your brand is all about. And sometimes that's hard, like managing parents can be the most difficult. um because if you're passionate about dance and helping the young girls, like, of course that part gets difficult too. But managing parents expectations, it has its challenges. Like, when I first started my dance studio, Diana was a very big help. She gave me a lot of resources and a lot of advice. Of course, because she's done it,
Yeah.
and she was very instrumental of giving me advice and encouragement. And one thing that she said to me that stuck with me, that I had to remind myself over and over, is she was like, remember your why. Like, remember why you started this dance company. Remember why you're doing what you're doing, because it's going to be times where you want to be like, you know what? This ain't it. It's not worth it. I'm good. And so, in those moments, you have to remember your why, because that has to supersede what you're feeling or what you're going through or experiencing from a business perspective in that moment.
Well said.
Thank you.
Because I have your flyer up. I know you can't probably see it.
I can't see the screen yet. It's still white. So, hopefully, like, I don't have anything in my nose or eyes
No,
or my
you
hair.
good.
So I can't see
But the
myself.
thing that always stuck with me was your three: inspire, empower, and educate.
Okay.
Like that was
Yes.
just like how did you come up with this? Like what was your thought behind it?
My thoughts behind that was for me to have like core values, like what is my purpose of having this dance team, and what will I be doing, like this dance company. um so it's important for you to inspire people, because when people are inspired, they want to move, they want to do something, they want to push the cause forward. um and educate, like, you have to educate your dancers. So it's really big for me, like, my parents know, anyone that's involved with my studio. I'm really big on success inside of the studio and outside of my studio doors.
Yes.
So I'm checking on grades. Are they involved in the community? Are they involved in school? Are they respectable? I'm checking social medias. You know what I'm saying? So for them to be educated from a dance perspective, knowing dance terms, because like I said, um, I didn't have any dance experience in regards to like professional training. So ensuring that, especially in the major rec community, sometimes, people will have dance teams and really not teaching the girls appropriately, appropriate terms, appropriate, like leaps and turns and pointing their toes. So just making sure that they're educated as a dancer and educated. outside of the studio. So, and just making sure they're empowered. Like, I want all of my girls to be like leaders, not just in dance, but outside of dance too. So, empowering them to feel like, hey, I can do this. I got this. I can be creative. I can make up dance routines. I can learn something new. So, I want them to always feel empowered. So, those are like my core things.
Wonderful. I used to always love reading your Facebook posts. Your spirituality is something that's amazing.
Thank you.
Even for someone that may not believe, that may not be a Christian, they can take what you say and apply it to their life.
Mm. Wow.
Because you know, you sometimes don't get that with your everyday old time Christians.
True.
But like I love that you're so transparent with your life and everything, in your own timing. But you're always using your testimony to reach someone and help them. And I think your time as a JSET has made that possible, and you're able to evolve and do those things because you was even spiritual back then as well. Um, I used to love you from afar.
Thank you. You have always been like, since how many years? You have always, and you've kept up with me. Like, I've been like not a G-Sec since 2011, so it's been almost 11 years since I grad. I mean, 10 years since I graduated, and you've always kept in contact. You've always supported, even when I opened the dance studio. You provided scholarships. Just, you've always believed in me and encouraged me and supported me. So I'm super grateful for that. So thank you.
Oh, you're much welcome. Because we need more of you.
Same.
We need more of you. Like more dance coaches and businesses. We need more of you because you put your all in it. You
Mhm.
sacrifice,
Absolutely.
and
I do.
so
And I know it's a gift, so I don't take my gift lightly. You
yeah,
spoke about my spirituality and transparency. I've mentored a lot of girls, and I've been through a lot in life, and so I never want people to feel like they are alone. And so knowing that I got through a lot of the things that I went through in life because of my relationship with God and because of that strength and that spiritual foundation. So I never try to like force my beliefs on people, but I always ask God, like, God, allow me to be a light that shines amongst your people. Like, let me be able to, because I have been gifted with the gift of influence. Like,
yes,
it's a blessing and a curse. Sometimes I want to say a curse. You have to be responsible with your influence. So knowing that God has given me the opportunity to be influential and that people actually listen to what I say and are influenced and inspired by the things that I say, I don't take that lightly. So I do try to be a glass house. I do try to be transparent, and hoping that it can be a light or an encouragement for someone.
definitely. So the next question is there a field show song that you wanted to dance to but didn't get an opportunity to?
Was it a song? Um, I don't think so. I can't remember. It's been like 10 years, guys. I can't remember if it's. I know it was a couple songs that, and I can't remember, but it was a couple songs. You know how you like a song on the radio,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, I want to dance to this. But then when you give it to the arranger, they was like, it's not enough. Like, it's not enough musicality in it. It's not enough instruments, because most of the newer songs are just really just bass, really just drums, really, what I'm saying? So it's not a lot of like how the old, I mean, more old school songs have the different horns and pianos and
Yeah.
tuba parts, but most songs that are like really popular on the radio during that time and era really didn't have good like musicality for an
You
arranger to
literally
make it sound full and good for a band to play. But I can't think of anything like right off the back of my head because it's been 10 years. But I'm pretty sure it was a song or two that got shot down. Definitely.
So the next question is where do you see yourself in 10 years in the dance world?
10 years?
Yes.
10 years. I will be 41. Woo, I will be old, baby. In 10 years, I definitely want to have multiple studios. Like, I'm pretty sure I won't be in Omaha forever. So wherever I reside, I definitely want to have a studio back home. Definitely we'll have a nonprofit so that I can do more in the dance world in regards to providing scholarships, because I feel that dance is a sport,
Yeah.
and especially in the HBCU world, like the band members get scholarships, but the dancers really don't.
Oh, yeah.
We have to come out of our pocket for a lot, and we put in a lot of work just like the band does in regards to our time and studies. So definitely want to be more instrumental in providing scholarship to dancers on a collegiate level, having more competitions. Um, so yeah, in like 10 years, I plan to be like not probably dancing a little bit, but more instructing, having more, being more of an influence in the dance world, because corporate America kind of, I won't say distracted me, but I was building my career, so really wasn't using my gifts. So the next 10 years, I definitely will be focusing on being way more instrumental in the dance world in regards to studios, competitions, and providing scholarships for dancers on a collegiate level.
Most definitely. I'm hoping to be there as well with my Booker Die scholarship.
Yes,
Yes, because you're not lying when you say that dance is a sport. It takes a lot because you can get injured just like a football player and your career is over. So I
yes,
feel as though these dancers bring a lot of attention to these universities. I think they should start rewarding them.
absolutely. I absolutely agree.
Yes, because most time we only go to the game to see you guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely agree.
So yes, so yes, the next question is: do you feel that a second year as J-Sette captain makes you more free to be creative?
Yes. Yes, I think so. Because your first year, you're still learning. In my opinion, from my experience, maybe because I was so fresh and new, I didn't have those 2 full years of being on the squad before I was captain. But I feel like that first year, you're really just learning. Like, you're learning more about yourself as a leader. You're learning more of your leadership style and what works for your team. You're learning your girls from a leadership perspective, because it's different from where, oh, these are my craft sisters, these are my sisters. So you're leading the team. You have to wear a different hat.
Yeah.
So that first year, you're really like learning yourself, learning the team, what works for your team. So you're kind of in like work mode all the time. But then your second year, you're like, oh, okay, I got this. I know and understand myself as a leader. I know Miss Worthy's, well, whoever the sponsor is, expectations. My squad, we're good. I got a good, routine of like how I'm going to run practice. And I know what works for field shows for my team, because I know my girls. And so your second year, you're like, hey, let's have fun.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Good
Let's
answer.
have fun.
Some
Oh Lord, what kind of question is this?
it says, did you come up with your field shows during your year?
Did I do what?
Did you create your field shows during your year? I know
Yeah.
you've already answered that question, but it was just so funny
Yes, yeah.
because
Yes, I did. And with the help, like we will have creative practices too. So I never, that's why I always give a shout out to my team and never try to wear the hat. Like, of course, people call me legendary, but always, even on posts and when I comment, like I always give kudos to my team, because it was nothing that I just did alone. Like we would have creative practices, especially if we had a bye week or if it was a week where we could actually repeat a dance, which is rare. We would have creative practices. So, I had a lot of creative girls, even freshmen, creative freshmen on my team who came up with a lot of stuff. So a lot, I mean, all of it wasn't me. I can definitely cannot take all the credit that like, oh, I made up all of my routines with no help. Definitely would be lying. Anyone that says that would probably be lying also. Um, but yeah, my team was very instrumental in making us stuff. We would have creative practices and create together.
like, who idea was it to create a routine to All I do is win.
Me, because because I got tired of being fooled by the band. I didn't know when the music was stopping, when they was gonna come back in. So it was just hard to like have eight counts that flowed. So
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? They ain't give me this next game, especially Southern. It was
Yes.
Southern game too. Oh no, like you got to be on your A+ game when you play Southern. So yeah, I didn't want to get out. I was like, Miss Worthy, can we make up a routine really quick, just some stands, like just put something together for specifically for this song, so we can go with the music. And she was like, okay, so we did.
So like how like what was your reaction to seeing KG bring that idea back? Like she created a dance for homecoming last year, and then at the Soul Bowl she created a full routine to a song. Like what was your reaction to it? Like, or did you even see it?
Always. Um, I did. To be honest, I really don't watch a lot of the videos and stuff. I really haven't like in the past couple of years. But you know, if I'm tagged in something, I definitely watch. Or if I'm scrolling on social media, I definitely watch. But I think it's always good. You can't overdo it. Like having like a routine to every song, because then it becomes predictable.
Yeah.
But if it's a certain song that has a lot of stops and starts and dynamics in it, hey, make a routine. Have a stand routine.
Definitely. The next question is, oh, how was Saki and Chloe different as your captains?
They have two totally different personalities. They have two totally different personalities. Saki, I mean, people that see and know them, personally, or just if you only follow them on social media, which is Chloe is not a social media person. She has
Definitely.
always been quiet into herself. Like that has always been her personality. But Saki is my captain. She was like full of energy, in your face, get it together. I remember homecoming my freshman year. Um, I guess Chloe, I mean not Chloe, but Saki kind of liked me a little bit, even though she was just like, "You're a freshman." She wanted to have me on a 50, but I just kept when it was Friday night. It was Friday night, no Thursday night. Thursday night of practice. And like all the alumni came to our practices. I wasn't used to that. So I kept messing up. I kept messing up. Masaki was in my face. She was like, "What are you doing? If you keep messing up, then I'm gonna put Charity on the 50-yard line." Da 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 da. Um, Masaki was very creative. She was like wasn't afraid to try crazy stuff. So I know this. I get that part of a part of my reign as captain definitely came from Saki in regards to like that energy. Like when she danced in the stands, you felt her dance in the stands.
Yeah.
Um, and so she was definitely different in that aspect. Chloe was more about business. She was like quiet. Chloe was definitely, I respect her as a dancer. She was very like technical, very clean,
Yes.
and which is needed to make you look good as a squad. So Chloe was definitely clean. She was like, being a bucker, you want to give it all, and she'd be like, yeah, okay, you bucking with your arms. Like your arms a mess. You wow. So she was very big on cleanliness and togetherness, and adding more technical things to the field show. So they were definitely, to me, they were night and day. You had your bucker full of energy, firecracker, and you had your elegant about business, form, be clean,
But Chloe,
respect.
but Chloe was a bucker back in
No,
2005.
I mean Chloe was definitely a bucker too.
But
Like
she, but she, but
Chloe,
she, but she likes she focused more on being clean than
yes.
she did when she was. Now she would buck you down on some.
Oh, most definitely. But her focus, like she would choose cleanliness over bucking the food.
Yes,
Like,
she
I
would.
mean, and I definitely like I agree with that. Like,
Yeah,
form
I'd
is
rather you
important.
be clean than to be
Form
bucking.
is important.
Yes.
Form is important. If you can't buck a fool and keep your form, you look a fool. So just Form is important.
So, when and how did you find out you were captain?
Miss Lord, this was spring.
Because I know
I
you.
found out,
I know it was early.
I found I was captain in the spring. Is my background loud?
Uh-uh.
Can you hear things in my background?
Just a little. I hear your husband.
That's what I was. That's what I was saying. Husband. I didn't want to interrupt the video. Babe. Tamar. For some reason, he can't hear me, but I can hear him. Tamar. Tamar. I can hear you guys really loud. They said they can hear you on the interview. I can hear you guys. Okay. Huh? Yeah. I should have muted while I was like talking to him. I thought I was muted.
No, you okay?
Yeah, because he was like, so what was your question? I'm sorry.
So when and how were you notified that you was captain?
Miss Worthy. Miss Worthy. So some of the old heads was already telling me like, Miss Worthy gonna pick you as captain. You're gonna be the captain. So they started calling me Captain Shan, and I was just like, not hearing them like, no. Saki was like, you're gonna be. I think Miss Worthy gonna pick you as captain. No, wasn't believing it. So when Miss Worthy called me and told me I was gonna be captain, I just I was shocked. I still can believe it. I can believe it. But yeah, Miss Worthy told me.
So they want to know: are you returning for the 50th?
See, I want to so bad because I have not danced as an alumni yet. Like, so
uh,
I really do want to get on the field. So I'm hoping that my husband does not have me pregnant again. By then, I have told him, I was like, okay, I am due in August of this year. So I'm like, that means I got a whole year to snatch back and get in shape and be ready for my major comeback because I haven't danced since I left in 2011. So that is my plan. So hopefully my husband does not ruin those plans.
yes.
Hopefully I am not pregnant in 2021. I told him you can do whatever you want to do. Okay, like you, my husband, I love you, but just we will not have after October 2021. Hey, do what you want to do, sir. But right now, no. So I'm hoping that is my plan for me to come back for the 50th and dance.
Um. So, ooh, I don't want to answer that question. That's the question.
He was like, ooh, I was like, what? I was like, are you
um.
answering questions? What's going on over there?
So it says, "Do you understand why we call you Mama Kita?"
Not really. Not the fans. I understand why my dancers call me Mama Kita, but I'm not sure why fans call me Mama Kita. Do you know why? Did they say why?
No, they don't say why,
They don't
but
say why.
I can give my perspective.
Okay.
Um, Mainly because when you became captain, you was much more mature than someone that was averagely your age. You know what
Okay.
I mean? You was more mature for your age. You have that old spirit, if I can say.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
So I guess
A
that
lot.
that is a because you didn't play no games when it came to them.
Hmm.
Because there was a video floating around in I think it was 2010 where y'all was practicing in y'all boots and the drum majors was messing with y'all or something and they was messing with Mia and you looked around like if y'all don't leave her alone I'm gonna get
Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, I didn't know if like the fans like adopted calling me Mama Kita because my girls did. Like they really did look
well
at me like a
that
mom.
could be the case too because you know they do that too.
Yeah, I mean, and that could be the case too. And like people who were around, from a fan perspective, like doing my reign and stuff, like they would see me in that mama mode. Like I definitely love my girls, and it was more to just than just dance with me. Like I was involved in their lives,
Yeah,
and like really big on like, hey, it's life after J-Set.
sure.
So what you gonna do with your life? So I'm definitely proud of all my girls. They're models and um, nurses and doctors and lawyers. So I'm super proud of all the girls that dance under me because they're doing amazing, amazing things. So I definitely was mama. I stayed on them.
Yeah.
I'm like, you grown. I'm invested in your success as a dancer and what you do professionally too.
So, what was your favorite count?
I have a lot of favorite counts. Which one? Fast, slow, medium?
Let's just do one fast, one's medium, one slow.
Favorite counts. Fast. Dang, that's kind of hard. I'm trying to think. Oh, so I'm trying to run through counts in my head. Um, I like the one where it's like round, then you shake, shake, ba, ba, da, da.
Oh, that swoop
I
count.
like that one. I like that one fast. My medium, um, ooh, I always like the 16.
Yeah.
It was my favorite, giving them hips, boom, 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 and flick, and flick, and flick. Slow, um, Janier's A count doing my reign. A lot of
Oh,
people didn't
yeah.
know. Like if you're a fan, then you
Yeah.
know that. But Janier made up a slow count for us, and I definitely became my favorite because it was like head whip,
Yeah.
roll up, ba 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 da da. Like yeah, that became my favorite slow stand.
Yes. So, Nancy's or jazz boots?
Depending on what we doing. If we marching up that ramp, when we doing like when we're coming in the stadium and we're marching up the ramp, Nancy's. Like Nancy boots in the stand. Like I feel like the ramp is should be Nancy boots because
Yeah.
I mean we're the Prancing J-Sets. You gotta like hear that. When you hear
That
a
clap.
horse coming down the road, you hear that click 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 click. Like I feel like when we coming up that ramp, you need to hear that click 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 boom. So still, I mean coming up the ramp, stands definitely Nancy boots. I love the old heads, and they used to get, I mean, so much more than us to dance in those Nancy Boots. 2009 was a success, like Capital City Classic. We danced in Nancy Boots on the field.
Yes.
In the rain, it was good, but we did it for Homecoming
10.
2010, disaster. I was like, you know what? From this point forward, Nancy Boots on the field should be retired. Point blank, period. We haven't done it since. I'm like, alumni, I love y'all. I gave y'all what y'all wanted, but I ain't never doing it again. So field shows should be jazz boots only,
Yeah.
only, and definitely Nancy's coming up that ramp. Like it just gives you that, give you that. I can't see myself right now, so I don't know if I look a fool. So I apologize to the viewers because I'm looking at a white screen, so I have no idea what I look like right now. So hopefully I don't look a fool trying to salt and pepper right now, sitting on this couch. But yeah, that's my answer.
Slow or fast counts?
Fast.
Parade or stands?
Stands.
Zero or fifth quarter?
Fifth. Well, zero quarter because I actually like arm stands.
I know.
And we only did them like doing zero quarter when the band would be playing the
The warm ups.
yeah, their warm ups. So I loved arm stands. I loved
I know.
doing
I
the arm stands.
remember
Like I loved it. So
remember after swoop they
zero quarter because we got to do more arm stands. Fifth quarter was more of like battle mode. But I love battle mode too. But I like if I was to choose zero quarter.
yeah, because I can see you liking arm counts. Because I remember at the end of swoop you would do an arm count
Yeah.
to end it, and then when you slayed that gospel song back in 2009.
Our arm stands. Our arm stands. I loved it.
So looking back now, what is something you would have done differently as captain?
Something I would have done differently as captain. Um, I would say, that's a good question. What would I have done differently? When I look back on my reign as captain, hmm, when it comes to the field shows, not being afraid to repeat dances, even if it was at home, because I feel like um, once we do a dance a second time, you get all the kinks out.
Yeah.
So a lot of the dances we only did once, pretty much. So I would have liked to do like the dances that we did more than once, like swoop and nights by nights. Like you saw a big difference.
Yeah.
Um, and so especially with us being YouTubed all the time,
Yeah.
it would have been really good to kind of repeat some dances to really get the kinks out.
Yeah. I can see that. And then also, like, especially with you saying that sometimes you guys will learn a routine very quickly.
Oh yeah, like learning on Monday, cuts on Tuesday. So I would teach the dance on Monday. We would have cuts on Tuesdays, formations on Wednesdays. We going out to the field on Thursday, Friday.
Yeah. That way, you're not focusing more on learning, getting those kinks out.
Yeah, I mean because we really didn't have time for
Yeah.
the kinks. Like it was, you learn the dance on Monday, you got to come back the next day ready for cuts. Um,
And y'all did three twice too.
you said what?
You did the song Three by Britney Spears.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a couple songs that we were able to do twice when it was away games, but some of them, well, it was a battle of the band. I forgot what song that was. We were able to do it at a battle of the band, but if we had more time wasn't on our side when I was captain.
um, how did you prepare for game day? Like, what are some things that you did to prepare?
For game day. Um, Look at my memory was horrible. Like I my even now today I have a horrible memory. So I had a binder where I named when I became captain, I named all of the stands. I named all of the stands. I named all of the parades. I named all of our walks because some of them like we didn't have a name. You just know like rest walk and stuff like that. So I would read over the book so I know like what stands I wanted to throw because I remember names. Um, so doing that, praying, prep talk with my girls, us singing and being silly to kind of get the nerves out a little bit. Um, I mean that was pretty much it. Stretch because I wasn't the most flexible. So I had to stretch more than most of the people on my dance team on the team. So just stretching, looking at the book because my memory was horrible. That was like the main thing. Like, remember this slow, fast, medium, bucking. Because for some reason, when I think 2009 and 10, they start playing more like rap songs.
Yeah.
Which was a lot of medium type bucking. And we didn't have a lot of medium like stands. So we would once we would have a field show, we'll start like taking 8 counts out of field shows. It was like, hey, we done ran out of, we'll go to the locker room during halftime. I'm like, we out of medium singers. Like, we don't have no more medium singers. I done threw them all. And so we would just reach from, some field shows and, you know,
Okay.
get some stands from a field show or something. But that's how I prepared.
Okay. So that brings me to the next question. Like, did Miss Worthy have to approve all counts?
Yes.
So she would have to approve them in the locker room.
Yes. Miss Worthy, baby, she had to prove everything. Like nothing was getting by her, because she needed to make sure you didn't have your legs gapped open for 4 counts. I'm like, now these little high school community girls be bucking with the legs wide open. No, you get 2 counts, legs open, two, two. That's it. Like that's it. She ain't finna sit. You can't sit there and book with your legs open like that. So yeah, she had to approve everything. She approved everything.
So, if you could practice with the current upcoming squad of J sets, what knowledge would you leave them with?
Um, to be authentic, like, as you got to evolve to stay relevant.
Yeah.
But then you want to keep the legacy. So, because things are different now with the social media era. Everyone is on social media. Everyone, gives their input. My biggest thing is like not stay off social media, but don't look for social media as your validation as a dancer. Like, stay focused on the focus. Like, when we at practice, like, because sometimes, you have fans that will encourage you and then you have fans that will discourage you. So you gotta own who you are as a dancer. And when you do that, like, you gonna shine through. Like you have to give everything you got. Like every count. Because when I first started learning how to book, I'm like, this hurts. Like, when does this not hurt? And it's like, no, when you're bucking and you're doing it right, it always hurts. So it's just like, just talking to them and giving them advice to like dance through it. Like, you got to give it 110%. Everything got to be, you got to dance big. That's my thing. Like, my freshman, I think it was my first year captain freshman squad. They had me like a captain song, and they was like, Shanketta, I forgot the song, but anyway, it was like the Soldier Boy song, and they was like, her looking so big, you can see it across the field, and so. So that always stuck with me. Like, yeah, you're right. Like, if I'm sitting across the opposite side of the field in the stands, those are fans too. They should be able to see every move.
Yeah.
They should be able to see your buck. You gotta dance big. So
Because
that would
you're
be my advice to
because
them.
looking
Dance
across the
big,
field.
give it 1,000%, and be confident as a dancer.
Yeah, because looking across the field, you're going to be small, but if you're bucking big, they'll be able to see you.
Hey, what you said?
So they want to know, do you like French or no French? Oh yeah.
French. French. Yes. So when you see, like, it just gives you that extra, like when you do those ba da da da
I
da da,
know.
like, and you do those flicks, the flicks of the hip, that French just give it that extra.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that was all of the questions that I was going to ask.
Okay.
So like if you if you if someone small, someone little was listening to this live,
Hmm.
and they were dealing with deciding on whether they should continue to dance or not due to
Hmm.
social bullying and people bullying them, telling them that they can't dance. Like, what would you tell them?
That you are amazing. So for my dance studio, I always tell my girls like their daily affirmation is I am beautiful, I am black, I am bold, and I am brilliant. So do not let other people discourage you. You have a gift. So you use your gift, always improve on your gift. Do not worry about what other people say. Find people that support you, because people that support you are gonna motivate you. They're gonna inspire you. They're gonna encourage you. They're gonna push you, but they're also gonna give you constructive criticism, which is needed also to help you evolve and grow to be a better and a stronger dancer. So don't give up. Don't give up. If dancing is in your heart and that's what you love to do, then do it. Don't worry about other people. Don't worry about the bullying. A lot of times we're in our own mind. A lot of times we think that we're not good enough ourselves.
Yeah.
And sometimes we can be our own worst of critics. But, like, say down daily affirmations. Look at yourself in the mirror when you're dancing and tell yourself, you got this. You're enough. You can dance. You're talented. You're amazing. So don't give up.
Yes, good answer. Because
Thank
what we
you.
put into the atmosphere is what we produce.
Yes.
If you think you're a failure, you're going to be a failure. Um,
Yes.
and something that you said was amazing was um, constructive criticism. Most people don't know how to be constructive because it's not what you say. I mean, it's
It's how
not
you
what
say
you
it.
say; it's how you say it.
It's how you say
So
it.
people need to learn tact, and
Yes.
it's okay to have an opinion, but we have to realize that when we give that opinion to someone that's already knocking themselves down, we're not doing nothing but digging a ditch for them to.
That is so true because our fans, so just for the people who are watching who are J-Sette fans, I will say that because I was very protective over my girls. I wasn't big on like the social media thing. But it's different now. All of the girls, we really couldn't really be on social media like that. But, um, a lot of the girls now, like they post their dance videos. People are with multiple YouTube channels, always capturing every moment. So just be mindful of the things you say and how you say it. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Nobody's opinion is right or wrong. You're entitled to how you feel and your perspective. But just be mindful that these are younger girls who are just becoming adults, like coming into their womanhood, and the things that you say sometimes can make and break people. Everyone doesn't have tough skin. So just as my reign as captain, like, you never know what these girls are dealing with. Some of them have experienced trauma, some of them are suicidal, some of them deal with depression, broken homes. Like outside of dance, they have lives, and sometimes what you can be the reason why someone overdosed on pills or want to commit suicide or want to quit dancing when dancing is a gift. So just be mindful of that. Like, yes, we need constructive feedback. That is important. But also be mindful of how you deliver it too, because you know that what you say to people you can't take it back. Once it's in the atmosphere, it's out there. So just be mindful of that when you're providing feedback to these dancers. Even though you're constructive, like at least like, hey, you're a good dancer, but so just don't attack the dancers. That's not okay.
It's not. So, I want your fans and your followers to subscribe to you at your business page at I Heartbeat Dance on Instagram and on
Yes,
Facebook. So just make sure you guys follow her and share some of her videos and like them.
yes.
And I want to thank you again, as well as congratulate you on your marriage and your
Thank you.
pregnancy. And
Thank you.
I look forward to finally coming to Omaha for your next dance camp.
Yes.
Alrighty, thank you so much, and we're gonna end this live.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're much welcome. Thank you.